Welcome to Something to Talk About from the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center. We're happy to have you here. And today we have Jess Sappington from WSU Extension. We're going to talk a little bit about the kind of benefit that people can get from food access programs, get food from local farmers through the Farmers Market Program. Before we do that, I want to thank Fieldstone Communities for sponsoring Something to Talk About. Fieldstone offers assisted and independent living and memory care up on Rolling Bay. They also have day stay and respite programs. If you'd like to tour or stop by for a free lunch at their bar and grill, call Celia, Celia, or Jamie at 206-594-1010 and check out their website, fieldstonecommunities.com. Also, I like to start by acknowledging that we are meeting on the ancestral homeland of the Coast Salish people, specifically our neighbors, the Suquamish tribe, the people of the clear salt water who have lived on these waters and adjacent lands since time immemorial. We are grateful for their stewardship. We are grateful for them helping us to be better stewards of these lands and waters. Jess, thank you very much for joining us today. I'm looking forward to this presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the time to be able to present this to your guys' audience. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen.
Sounds good.
Can you see that?
Perfect.
Wonderful. Okay, so I'm Jess Sappington. I am actually underneath WSU Kitsap Extension. I work with our area farmers under our regional small farms programming, but another subcomponent of my job is working directly with farmers markets and direct access farms. And part of that role is assisting the Washington State Farmers Market Association with their food access programming at farmers markets, and that's through support in their regional leads. So I'm considered a regional lead for WSFMA in our region, the West Sound region. So markets across the region can come to me for different education, support, outreach. And so I give presentations like this to different community groups and try to get the word out and help folks who can access food access programmings at markets, giving them that education and information. So a little bit about WSFMA. It's a statewide nonprofit organization that assists farmers markets in a lot of different ways, providing support, education, assistance. And again, as I already alluded to, they do some of their work through food access programming. And so really that is supporting farmers markets to run successful food access programs. They accomplish that through our regional leads programs across the Washington state. And that goal of the regional leads is to ensure that there's that vital source of fruits and vegetables and other local foods for SNAP and FNMT shoppers at the farmers markets. They do this through different partnerships with other state agencies. I've listed some of those there, and through collaborative opportunities. And so what food access programs are at markets? Some of these across the top header there you might recognize. There's the SNAP Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Programming. There is the SNAP Market Match, which is the incentive to the SNAP at the market. And then there's WIC Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Programming. And then that last column to the right there is just other programs that you might see. Some are not in this area, like the Fresh Bucks program, that's Seattle only, but I'll cover that just so that you know what those are in case you do run into them. So the first program is SNAP. That is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, otherwise referred to or known by some as Basic Food Benefits. That is a federal run program. It is not just at farmers markets, it's at grocery stores. So most people are familiar with being able to utilize SNAP at the grocery store, but it is also able to be utilized at local farmers markets. And we oftentimes see SNAP and EBT interchanged. And so I want to give some definition to that because I think it can be confusing for some people. SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, is actually the program itself, whereas EBT, which stands for Electronic Benefits Transfer, is the card. So if you see in this picture here, this is an A board that you might see at a local farmer's market. And you also might see signage at grocery stores and local, corner stores that say we accept EBT, and you'll see that Quest card. EBT is the actual vehicle in which folks get those dollars. It is that card. So that's why you'll see SNAP and EBT interchanged a lot. And there is some confusion around it, but it is referring to the same thing. So SNAP provides food benefits to low-income families that allows them to supplement their grocery budget. And it's a way so that they can afford more nutritious foods that are essential for their families. If you think you qualify for SNAP and you haven't gotten it yet, or you have questions about SNAP, you can contact your local community service office. I've included the 877 number there, but you can also search online for your local CSO office and get the direct contact as well, depending on your area.
It sounds like if you are utilizing SNAP, you are already set up to take some advantages at a farmer's market now.
You are right now, yeah. If you have
You just,
that
if you have the
EBT,
card,
yep, you can go directly to a farmer's market and utilize those benefits, which we'll talk about here in the next screen. So what does that look like at the farmer's market? Because most people, like I said, if you're already issued the EBT card, you already qualify. You may be getting your dollars you might be spending those dollars directly at the grocery store, whereas you can actually also go to your local farmer's market. And so this program is directly distributed at the market information booth at farmers markets. So if you have that card, what you want to do is just go find your information booth at your local farmers market. Let them know you would like to take out EBT dollars. They'll have you swipe your EBT card. If you can see, there's the card there, and there's a little POS system. Every market has a little different type of POS system, but they'll have you swipe that card. You'll tell them how much you want to spend at the farmer's market. You can spend any amount that you have up to the amount that you have on your card, and then they will give you tokens. These tokens, an example is a wooden token there on the bottom left of the screen. They vary market to market, but generally they are token currencies. And that token is what then the EBT customer can go spend directly with the farm vendor or the market vendor that has eligible EBT food items. And so I like to note that those tokens, it's a federal program. Once issued, those tokens do not expire. That means that the customer does not have to spend it that day at the market. They can save it week to week and month to month. It does not expire. The tokens are spent directly with the vendors, and they are for eligible food items only, which we'll get to here in a second on that eligible food item list, which I think can also be kind of confusing for customers. So we like to try to clarify some of those things. One new program under SNAP that I just want to point out that may not be pertinent to this audience, but is a program under SNAP that's at the market that they might see is called Sunbucks. It's a program through SNAP that is for eligible school-age children. Their families will get $120 per child to buy groceries during the summer months. And what that is it's helping to supplement their food bill while they're not getting those reduced meals during the school year. And so this program can also be matched just like EBT for our additional SNAP Market Match program, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But I wanted to point that out in case some folks have come across this program and wonder who is that for? It is for eligible school-age children families. So getting back to the eligible food items, this is one thing that folks have a little bit of confusion on when they go to the farmer's market. Once they realize they can use their EBT at the market, it is used very similar to how they would at the grocery store. Any eligible food item that's underneath EBT can also be purchased at the market if it exists at the market. So it's a pretty comprehensive list. Fresh fruits and vegetables, plants or seeds that produce food are eligible. Breads, dairy, baked goods, jams, jellies, honey, meats, fishes, poultry, nuts, and mushrooms. The biggest thing, I have an identifier down there that says alcohol and ready-to-eat foods that cannot be purchased with SNAP, similar to the grocery store. Those items are not allowable. How I like to pose the list to folks at the farmer's market, though, is that basically anything that you can purchase in a grocery store can also be purchased at the market, with the caveat that it has to be for home food consumption. So as an example, you might go to the farmer's market and see an ice cream vendor. They're scooping ice cream directly into a cone. That is meant for on-site consumption. It is not a food you would be taking home to consume at home, and therefore that doesn't qualify. However, if that same vendor has pints of ice cream that are ready to go and they're ready to sell and labeled, that would be an EBT eligible food item. So that's kind of how we give that description, as if it's for home food consumption and it's not a ready to eat food, it is eligible for EBT dollars.
Sounds very clear. That's great. Thank you.
But not all the farmers take the EBT things, right?
Yes, if you're at the farmer's market and you have EBT and you have those tokens, any farmer that has those eligible items, and it's not just farmers, it could be a local food process vendor. So it could be a vendor who's making jams and jellies.
Right.
They would also have the ability to take those.
But do they have to be registered like with the government, and they sign it and say, but they can refuse to take them, can't they?
They can't refuse to take the tokens if they're at the market. They have to take that currency if it's an eligible item.
Oh, okay.
So they're not, it does not require, if the farmer or the food vendor is at the market, it does not require them to also be authorized with FNS, who runs the federal program. The
Okay.
market is the one, because they're the one issuing the tokens. They're the ones that have that level of
Okay.
authorization.
Clear on that. Okay.
That's great. That puts you at ease a little bit. You know that your currency, your tokens are good currency.
Yes, yes. And then another large food access program at our markets in Washington now is called SNAP Market Match. And you might notice these signs, you might have seen them, I'm not sure, but they're pretty prevalent at our markets now. There are quite a few markets that are eligible for SNAP Market Match. This is a state program, it's not federal. And so it is run by the Department of Health for Washington State, DOH. It is the incentive or the match to EBT at the market. So basically any EBT eligible customer who has the card can go do the exact same steps that we just talked about. They go to their market booth, they swipe for whatever amount they decide they want to take out in EBT. And in addition to those tokens that they can spend on EBT eligible food items, they get the SNAP Market Match dollars, which you can see in the lower left there. There's a picture of one that's voided. It looks like a little paper currency, and that gets issued to them at the same time they get their tokens. And that allows them further purchasing power for fresh fruits and vegetables at the market. So it extends their ability to buy those types of foods. I do want to point out the currency, because this is a state program, it's not at the federal level. This currency does expire annually. So we do encourage shoppers who do get SNAP Market Match to make sure that they spend it before the end of that market season, because otherwise they won't be able to spend it moving forward. And the eligible food items are a little bit different. With SNAP Market Match, that program is really focused on incentivizing and giving match so that families and individuals can get more fresh foods. And so that includes fresh fruits, vegetables, mushrooms, seeds, and edible plant starts. So anything that produces an edible food, and then also herbs. It's not a program that will support purchasing of dried, canned, or frozen fruits or vegetables. So that includes things like those jams, jellies, ciders. It will not purchase dried herbs. It has to be fresh. And it will not purchase nuts, seeds, eggs, baked goods, seafoods, or meats and milks and cheeses. So it is very specific to trying to promote more consumption of fruits and vegetables and fresh products.
Will those Market SNAP Match let you buy like tomato plants?
It will, yeah. So anything that's an edible, yeah. So if it's a seed or an edible plant item, it is it qualifies. So we have some customers that grow gardens, you know, they have their own family garden, and so they can actually utilize these dollars along with their EBT, because EBT can also purchase those. They can also use it for those type of things. Yeah. The third big food access program at farmers markets that you might see is called the Farmers Market Nutrition Program. And so there's two components of this. There's the WIC and then the senior component of Farmers Market Nutrition Program. WIC is women and children's, and so it is very targeted at customers that are eligible for WIC. And so they have to go through their local WIC office to apply to get these dollars, but it will allow them to get $30 per participant per season, or up to $90 per family. And that is additional dollars that they can spend directly at the farmer's market. Similarly, seniors can receive $80 per season per participant. And then eligible customers must apply annually through their local area agency on aging or a contracted partner in their county that contracts with their local agency to receive this benefit. In Kitsap, Meals on Wheels is our representative that does this program. So anybody who wants to apply season to season, it is something they have to do annually, and they would need to apply. And Meals on Wheels is great about getting those applications out into the community. They will put them at senior centers. They'll put them directly at farmers markets. They will also send them out to participants that have utilized the program in the past. So,
And we have Meals on Wheels here Monday through Friday. And so even if you aren't here for lunch, you can stop by and ask for the materials and they'll get you set up.
yeah. And then, I always like to note that the farmers market nutrition program does not necessarily follow the farmers market season. A lot of our farmers markets will open in April or May and maybe close in October, November, December. Some are now closing in December even. And the farmers market nutrition program, it is a window of June 1st to October 31st each year. So it doesn't align with the opening and closing of the market, but it's a very specific time frame in which WIC and seniors can utilize these funds at market.
Now, how do you oh, I'll be quiet while you do this.
No question. You can ask whatever question you
Well,
want.
I was just gonna say, so I applied for one of these cards. I don't have it yet.
Okay. Yeah.
And-
So once you apply, you will get one of these cards depending on if you're WIC eligible or senior farmers market nutrition program eligible. And so on the bottom left card, that's the senior card, and the one on the bottom right is WIC. Once you're approved, you go through the application process, and if you get approved, they issue you the card as well as a QR code. So the QR code is the piece that then gets scanned in order to utilize the funds. Does that answer your question?
Okay, so do you have to look, does each farmer decide whether they want to take that card or not?
No. So the way this works, this is a little bit different. So if you're eligible and then you go through that process and you get your card and your QR code, you actually go directly to the vendor, not the market booth. So
Right.
SNAP and SNAP Market Match, you have to go to the market booth to get issued currency to use. This is a little bit different. The market does not give out currency for this program. You have to go directly to the vendor. And the vendor, if you see that sign above there in the upper left, the WIC and senior sign, they're supposed to post those signs at their booths if they have the ability to take those dollars. And so not every farmer or food will have that sign. So you really need to be aware those are the ones that can take that program. There are growers, farmers that just don't utilize this program. They don't apply to take that. And so you may find a farmer that you really like and you want to spend it with them, but they may not have the ability to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So look for that sign for sure. WIC, this is like the WIC and senior sign, but then there's one that's separate for just senior because there's one food item, which we'll talk about in the next slide on the eligible food item list that's different. And so if that farmer only does that one item, they may have a sign that looks similar, but it just says senior programming. So again, you go directly to the farm vendor to shop. The vendor then has a grower app that they utilize and they walk through the process. They go through the sale with the WIC or senior customer and it's a transaction that's directly done through them and it's directly taken off the card. There's no interaction at the market booth, like I said, but markets are well versed in this program and they also have to apply and have that education knowing about the program. So if a senior or a WIC participant doesn't know what to do when they get to the market, they can still go visit the market booth and ask questions, and the market manager or their assistants or volunteers are happy to help with that information.
Okay. And if we have any problem, we can just call you.
You can, seniors and participants generally call me directly, but there is a website that's really wonderful and there is a shopper. There's a question line that's really great. They answer questions.
Okay.
Great, yeah. WIC and senior eligible foods. So similar to SNAP Market Match, the idea behind this program is they're trying to get as much fresh fruits and vegetables and unprocessed foods into the hands of these customers. And so that longer list that I gave of EBT eligible food items does not apply to this program. It is more similar to SNAP Market Match in that sense. So it's unprocessed fresh fruits, vegetables, and cut herbs. And then seniors, like I alluded to before, have one added food category that WIC does not have, which is honey. So a lot of times you might go to a farmer's market and you'll see a honey vendor that just sells honey. They don't sell anything else. And so that's where you might see just that standalone senior signage, because seniors have the ability to use FMNP at honey vendors.
And it looks like probably not starts of herbs or tomatoes here.
It's unprocessed fruits, vegetables, and cut herbs, yeah. The other programs you might see, and this is if you travel maybe to the Fresh Bucks one for sure that's Seattle only. So you might, if you go to Seattle markets, see this one. This is actually only Seattle markets, and it is also an incentive to SNAP. It's not something that our Kitsap markets offer here. And then WIC fruit and vegetable benefits is an added benefit only for WIC shoppers. It's an automatically included benefit that most WIC shoppers will get, WIC participants will get. It's just added to their WIC shopper app. It can be used year round, so it's not limited to the FMNP timeline. And it can be used at both grocery stores and farmers markets. And so it has the same eligible food item list as the FMNP program. It's just an added dollar benefit that they can take and use at the farmers market or a grocery store. And I think that's it. That's a pretty broad overview of the different food access programs that you might encounter at the farmers markets. Again, all our area farmers markets are really wonderful places to extend your food dollar if you are a participant in any of those programs. If you are not a participant and you feel like you're eligible for any of them, specifically SNAP, I would definitely encourage folks to contact their local community service office and find out and go through that process. If they are interested in applying for senior or WIC FMNP, I would definitely say contact Meals on Wheels. It is now partway through the season, so I know that it is really limited to how much they can give out. And so I don't know if I believe they still have funds available, so I'm not sure that they've closed it yet, but some years annually they have closed it fairly quickly. So it is something that is limited. So you can't get it throughout the whole year.
And you described earlier a website that had answers and a phone number.
Yeah. Would you like me to, I didn't include that here, but I can send that to you. Let me stop sharing. Would that be helpful as a follow-up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this online, just look at the little box underneath YouTube, and I'll put the links that you tell me about there for viewers later. And Rita, you'll just have to come back and look at it. And Marcy.
Exactly. I'll come and
And
see
if
you at
you-
the office.
Yeah, and you know, if you are a customer that's interested, you can actually Google Farmers Market Nutrition Program Washington State, and it will pop up the same link and the same information. They have really great resources for folks to go off of. So,
And to find out information about the right community service organization to help me with SNAP.
that is the local CSO. Yeah. So DSHS community service offices, but I will include that link when I send that to you. Yeah.
And then do you also work with markets? Because it sounds like there's a lot of information and training for the market vendors and the information booths themselves to be up to speed. And I'm guessing that's part of your job.
That's part of my job. I have the wonderful job of being able to connect with markets regularly on training. So as markets get new board members or volunteers or staff, they can come to me and we go through kind of similarly, what are the food access programs? How do you operate them? Who are they for? And so, yeah, I get to have that really great job of working directly with the markets on this. And in turn, again, they then are able to educate the community on how to use these programs and how to run the programs, and additionally for vendors. And so one last quick plug, I will say this week is, so August 4th through the 10th is National Farmers Market Week. And so we are in that week right now. Tomorrow, the Bainbridge Island Farmers Market is happening, as well as Paulsbo Farmers Market and Port Orchard Farmers Markets. But Kitsap County also proclaimed this week as Kitsap Farmers Market Week. So encourage folks to get out to the markets this week and every week really, and just check out your local food.
Yeah, and if you're watching this on Monday, it'll be too late for that, but there's still more markets. And if it's not Monday when you're watching this, there's also an event on Sunday, right?
There's
Bar-
Kingston. Yeah, so every week, we want to make every week Farmers Market Week. We want people to go have that be their first stop for local fresh produce for sure.
Great.
Yeah, Butter and I plan on going to the farm tour. I had seen it, and so we plan on doing that on Sunday, so that should be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Can you say anything about that, the farm tour?
Yeah, so another awesome thing that's happening in our community is we have a really great group of dedicated farmers that have come together. We've been working with them since about 2022. They're called the Kitsap Agritourism Coalition. And they're a group of farmers that have, to some extent, some capability of having the public come on their farms, whether that's through farm tours, classes, animal experiences, weddings, wineries, those type of things. And last year was our first year. We got some funding and we put on a farm tour here in Kitsap called the Kitsap Farm Tour. We had 11 farms take part, opening up to the public for one day with a self-guided tour. And so this year is our second year. It's happening this Sunday, August 11th. It is from 10 to 4, and it's 11 farms across Kitsap. So Bainbridge all the way down to Olalla. Same thing, lots of fun activities, both for families and individuals to come experience. We've got, I mean, I can't even list how many activities they're going to be having. So it is a self-guided tour. You can start at any farm and go to any and all of them if you would like.
Thank you, Jess, and I really appreciate you taking the time, and I hope to check in with you again at the beginning of next season to let people know about this.
Yeah, wonderful. Thanks for having me.
You are very, very welcome.
Thank you so very much.